What? How you doing? Better day? Clearer day today. But somehow I feel worse. Well, I say somehow like I don't quite get why I feel worse, but um last night, this ties in directly into yesterday's vlog. Inky was still trying to help me figure out why I felt down, and at one point she bit at me. Um I said something, she snapped at me, and I kind of didn't quite understand why. Like, on the grounds that um, I don't actually remember why she said she bit at me. It was something to the effect that it's frustrating that she can't help me get to the bottom of it without potentially making it worse, possibly. So we had this big old conversation, and it ended up kind of going into this whole, like, I don't know why I feel this way, and I struggle to remember a lot of people. I think I've mentioned this before, that if people aren't mainstays in my life, if they're not like a big part, I don't remember. No offense to people if I let you slip by, but I just forget. I could even walk past my own family in the street. I just don't notice. And which is weird, because I said so. The thing that I do remember, I'm pretty alright at reading people, and so when people mention like an event or something, I'll pick up on their tone, the body language, blinking and things like that, how they're holding themselves, and I get a groove from that. I don't necessarily remember it, but I'm building a picture, and I'll take whatever I do remember from it and piece it together, kind of thing. So if someone mentions a name and they're kind of negative towards it, or they have some kind of, there's like a weird-ish kind of inflection, I'm like, oh, so yeah, that, and look, I remember something similar to that, and you're acting like this, therefore I guess I must have been a bit of an asshole. Like, if someone comes up to me and they say, like, blah blah blah, blah, they'll say, oh, do you remember such and such, me, you, something something, and then based on their tone, and I was like, I sorry, I don't, but, and they'll say, I guess I must have been a bit of a shithead because of the way that this is coming across right now, and so I just mentioned that, like, I pick up on things that people do, and every now and then I'll kind of hand people a duffer card. Like, if someone's, they're trying to play up to me, and people tend to do that. Like, they'll try to be friendly with me. They'll say something that sounds right, but it probably isn't quite right. And so I'll throw them another card, and I'm not doing it to be nasty, but I'll say, maybe that was just an honest mistake, and I'll kind of hand them a card, not a real card, obviously, but just imagine there's like, this is completely wrong and the right one's over here, but I'll hand that, and if they agree with me on this one, then I know that they're completely talking shite and they're just playing up to me, which is a sign of, like, there's maybe something not quite right going on here. And like, I catch people out when they say they're going to do something and they do something else, or they don't tell me the full story, kind of thing. And this morning, so I get up, I let Inky have a lay-in, bless her, and I take the boys into school, and I bump into Albert. I haven't spoken to Albert in months. It was great to speak to Albert. I do like speaking to Albert. Albert is the grandfather of one of Theo's classmates, and we just, had a bit of a catch up, a bit of life and all that kind of stuff. He mentioned I can't remember what it was, but as a skin condition potentially caused by stress. I'm gonna have to look it up. It's not that he had or anything. Just kind of mentioned, like, some issues with my joints and stuff. He said, "Oh, that can be caused by." I was like, oh, fair that. So I'm gonna maybe look into it. But anyway, we had a chat, and by the end of it, he says to me, because it causes like swelling and stuff, and he says to me, when you've had, it's to the effect of, when you've had a good life, grow old disgracefully, and that made me chuckle. And so we parted ways, and we came home. And then the rest of my day happens. And the reason I feel worse today is I think I went and did the exact thing I said I wouldn't do yesterday. Kind of. Like, I didn't mean to, but I think I might have done. And so I can only apologise to people that this may relate to. So Inky and I start talking again about the conversation that we had the night before. Because I'd kind of brought up about how I read people, as I mentioned a minute ago, and I mentioned how Inky's kind of naive. She's always out for the best in people. She always wants to help people, even if it's not in her best interest to help them, even if it's going to cause her harm, or it's definitely not the best thing for her. She will still go out of her way to help people, and she's doing it in the most friendly way possible, but other people aren't really necessarily looking out for what's best for her. And so we're having this conversation, and just randomly I remember a name, and I mention the name, and she spits out an event, and I'm like, oh, shit, no, I don't remember that happening, but that was pretty hectic. The conversation continues, and I basically said to her how her naivety can be, it's probably going to get her into trouble. Like, I worry that I'm not doing what's best for Inky a lot of the time. All I really want from life is to do what is best for my wife and my children, for my family. Now, if Inky said to me, Skaz, I want a solid gold house, then god damn it, I had better work for it, and I just don't feel like I'm living up to it. She does so much for everyone, and I'm just sat here twiddling my goddamn thumbs. So we go back to the conversation of kind of reading, predicting, and stuff like that. I said, in the grand scheme, Inky, I mean, I didn't mean to pick on anyone. I tried not to pick on anyone. But I just pulled like random names. I said, I can guarantee, Inky, that like something like this is done or said to you like on a daily basis, and it's probably not right, that it's all with the best intentions, but it's probably, how do I say it without maybe misread? Because I know I'm dragging this on for something that's basically like I think I upset Inky. I upset Inky today. Because we were just chatting away, and I said it, and I said, look, there's a time when like you'll say something, they'll say something, and if you were to look at that from another perspective, you may not realise there's actually probably another side to that. The other person may pick up that there's another side to that, and you'll get your wires crossed. Like Inky doesn't read too much into what people say to her very much. And so I was like, look, sometimes you're just going to have to understand that maybe people aren't necessarily out just for your best interest. And she got a little upset, thinking that perhaps when she when she took on board what I'd said, she started kind of reading into what other people had been saying to her in recent history, and that made me feel guilty. Because she started picking out a handful of people, and I was like, well, I know that fucking geezer number one's a complete knobhead. Person number two, they're alright, but... I said, I don't like telling you this kind of stuff because it's up to you to figure this stuff out. These are your friends. They're not people I've brought in. So she gave some examples of my friends, and I said, yeah, but I attract a completely different kind of people. You know, I'm a complete asshole that attracts some of the nicest people on the planet. I have been blindsided by naivety myself, but, not in quite some time in the grand scheme. So then she says, well, how about, and she mentions a couple of names. I said, look, I could probably pick holes in person A and person B. I'm almost certain that they've said something to the effect of, and you may have said something to the effect of, and that could have been taken. And I think he often gets into conflicts as well, just for like no reason. It's just like, I think I may have aggroed her against one of her friends. And I said, look, Inky, I really don't care that you're talking to these people. You know, I've got no problem that you hang out with these people. I just want you to be happy. But I want you to be safe. I want you to look after yourself. You know, you are my most important treasure. If I was a dragon, you were my pile of gold. You know, you and those children are pretty much the thing that keeps me going, and I can't handle the idea that just through maybe miscommunication, because that's just what he was kind of probing me about. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean? I said, really? I mean, it could mean this, but the way that comes across is this. She was like, oh. I was like, this doesn't matter. It's fine. Like, you know, I can't really. I don't want to go into specifics. That means I have to disclose conversations, and but I'm concerned that I've upset my wife. That I've put her off wanting to do things, go places, see people, and talk to people, because now she may think that they've got. And I said to her, like, there's nothing, like, it's entirely up to you. You can't vet absolutely everyone. I'm not going to vet everyone for her. They're her friends. And to her, they could be good people. So if my random conversation... That doesn't make any sense. This vlog makes less sense than yesterday. If my random conversation has caused you any trouble and you see this, I apologise. I didn't mean to rock the boat. I didn't say anything nasty. Just, she's now just a little bit... just don't want her to get hurt. Don't want people to take advantage of her kindness. Because she'll bend over backwards to help anyone and everyone, without really looking into the bigger picture. And it gets her into trouble all the time. All the time. She won't even, not even a second thought, jumping off the cliff to try and help someone. You know? I kind of felt better until we had that conversation. And then the rest of the day I've spent it with Inky, which has been it's been nice. Just I feel really bad that I don't want to have ruined any of Inky's friendships. I didn't think I was doing anything particularly bad at the time. I did say to her the night before, I'm not going to read people for you. I kind of gave her some examples with some people we'd hung out with recently. I said, you know, this is a thing, but that's not really the case. Or they did this, which usually means this. You know, like body language. If someone holds themselves like this, then they show a lack of confidence and stuff like that. And just, but then it could also mean just sorry. I don't mean to cause any trouble. I try to be as vague as possible when people ask me stuff like that, so I don't rock the boat. But I just think today, maybe it's been taken the wrong way a bit. Now I'm just going around in circles. Great. I didn't choose the best way to word the conversation either, to be honest. I don't think. I mean, I made it clear to her. I had no problem with any of the people that we were talking about, any of the people that we'd mentioned. But just like, I just wanted to be careful, happy, and safe. Right? That's it. Like, this conversation didn't even originally start based on around this kind of thing, but that's just somehow how we swung it around, because we both questioned it later on. It was just like, where did that come from? Don't really know. And because my memory's really that bad, I could barely remember how we even started the conversation. But it's like, sometimes the way bless her, she talks to people, it's like you're constantly trying to make people feel happy. If people give me jive, if people give me gripe, I just say, dude, I haven't got time for this. I've got better things to do. Bam, done. You know? Inky will literally take crap from everyone. Anyone and everyone. She barely had to have known them. One minute they could be super nice, and then the next minute they're practically spitting in her face. Over the smallest thing. You know? I'm like a bull in a china shop, socially. If I don't want to deal with you, I won't deal with you. Inky's more diplomatic. And I say sometimes, like, a lot of these people, I don't care if I upset someone. If someone comes up to me that I don't know and I say something in my normal way, my normal kind of hot-headed way, and someone gets upset and they go away, that doesn't bother me. Inky, on the other hand, if people don't know Inky very well, then I said, well, like, some of this stuff is fine for you to say to people who you've known for like 10 years. That's cool. They understand like who you are, how you work, and all that kind of stuff. But like, you can't necessarily say this to someone who's maybe only known you for a couple days. Or, you know, a couple months or whatever. They don't really quite know your groove, so that might come across as something completely out there. You know, like, some of the stuff I say, you'd think I was a right sexist, racist bastard. But once you get to know me, you'll just realise that's the way I speak. And then Inky ends up, like, she feels bad, and then she ends up on damage control, and then that's just when people get really gripey, and I don't want to have to deal with that kind of thing. So, again, I'm doing a really bad job. This was a conversation that, honestly, if there was a camera on the wall, you'd have understood every single part of it, and it wouldn't have seemed unreasonable, right? But just, I think today I've really fucking stuck my foot in it. Without well, I kind of realised it was going a bit flaky, but I didn't realise it had gone quite as flaky. And then, stupidly, my health came into question. And again, that's another one that I can joke about. I can joke about it. Like, I don't give a toss if I were to get hit by a bus tomorrow. But it's how other people feel is the problem. This is like the kind of the whole thing is like gauging other people's feelings. And for me, that's just, you know, I've been hit by a bus. Oh well, I'll be fucking dead. It's not that big of a deal. And so I probably chose the wrong way to word this next bit. And like some bits came to light that Inky's like, oh. Like, she's incredibly concerned about my memory loss. I can't remember if I told her before that I was spitting blood. If I hadn't, I'd let slip. You know, the issue that I'm having at the moment with one of my arms, just, you know, the fact that I'm falling apart, I'm having sharp, like, just pains in my abdomen constantly, just really sharp stabbing pains. You know, just chest is tight constantly. Then with the whole spitting up blood thing, and just Inky started to get like really, really concerned. And I stupidly said something to the effect of, "It doesn't really matter. Life will go on regardless of how I feel." And I think that came across to Inky as though when I'm gone or when I leave, and it's like, no, I just mean like, if I'm sick, I mean, you're gonna have to go about your day. The kids are gonna have to go about their days. Mum's gonna have to go about hers. Charlie's gonna have to go on. The world is going to keep moving forwards regardless of how I feel. And I didn't choose the best way to say it. So again, I stuck my foot in it. And if my conversations with my wife today have caused anyone any trouble, again, I apologise. That was not my intention. I was just a bit of an insensitive dickhead. And same to Winky, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to fuck it up. I mean, me and Inky haven't had any arguments or anything. There's been nothing to argue about, but... And again, this would be so much clearer if I could, like, use people's names and examples and things like that, but I can't do that, so now it's open for people to go, does he mean this? Oh my god! No, probably not. But... Just, oh... I'm pretty good at doing this. Pretty good at doing this. Sabotage. Woo! I'm the best.
That's why you love me, anyway.
I'm not completely in the doghouse, apparently.
No.
Because,
You're allowed to say what you want, because if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. And I love you, and I will support whatever you want. Even if it is blowing up the toilet.
I haven't got to that yet.
In fact, I'll aid you to do that.
So, what I was going to say was I'm clearly not in the doghouse because Charlie Spaniel is miserable. That's not why.
McBurger.
I've got some McFood and a sad Spaniel and some anime.
All cartoons.
And then we'll talk about the toilet. On a slight change of topic, because Inky let this one just fucking slip out. Welcome to the throne room. Ta-da, the throne. We've got a bit of a problem. It's broken. Got a hint that it could very well be a dropped drainage pipe again. That's basically it's not going anywhere. I know, so it is a hell of a change of subject. We've gone from talking shit to being full of shit. Might have to call in the folks again, because I've been told to avoid it, because last time, it was around that time I ended up with blood poisoning and 2 weeks in hospital and almost lost my leg. How? It's magic. Yeah, I almost became a pirate. I just thought it was funny that it's... Again, I'm not allowed to joke about this kind of thing because it's insensitive. I just thought it was...
To me, it's insensitive, you bastard.
I just thought it was funny that had I have left it until like, well, I said I was going to go to the doctor's on Friday.
Yeah.
And then didn't we go on like a Monday or a Tuesday? And they ended up saying, yeah, if you had left it until Friday, you'd have been dead. It's like, cool. That's rad. Like, I really skirted around that one. So close. So close. Still managed to fuck it up. The toilet doesn't actually seem to have any problem past the initial... Hang on, sorry, I'm just holding the... So, everything down to the pipework at the back is clear. So, Inky had the wonderful... Because how did we get into the joking about Coke and Mentos? It's like, what, we're going to use either like bicarb, one of those drain cleaner things. So why don't we just use like Coke and Mentos? Just like pour Mentos into the toilet and then flush through with Coke. So because it would probably, I don't know if you've ever seen like a big amount of Coke and Mentos, they tend to go up like a rocket. So because we'd probably blow the fuck out the toilet. Or it would just make a really, really shitty mess. Or it would look like a shitty mess. So he's like, yeah, just You know, put Coke here, put the Mentos there, and then put like cling film over the top. So I'm pretty sure that's a disaster waiting to happen. You know, so fun to be had in this house. To be honest with you, what do you and your what usually happens in your house when you fuck everyone over, Skaz? Well, we talk about blowing up toilets. We blow up a toilet. I still feel like I fucked up today.
You haven't.
I don't care. I fucked up today. I said yesterday I wasn't gonna choke anything out, and I feel like today I've inadvertently kind of
You
put
totally have choked me though.
I have. I am so aggro with my wife. So aggro. Jesus Christ, we're now making it sound like domestic. Here we go. I don't know where I'm going with it. But Inky's actually already watched the vlog. Up to the point when the food arrived. So I'm gonna call this one done. If I don't appear in tomorrow's vlog, Inky's had enough of me. And she's killed me. But apparently what, I've got my 5 passes, I'm ready to register you.
Yeah.
You know, so that's all good. Got my 5 tokens. I didn't realise that even just suggesting would put in doubt or whatever. Hope you're all well. I'll see you all with a bit of luck tomorrow. Can't blow up a toilet.